So did anybody notice something kind of strange about this one? Anything maybe different? No, you're just in autopilot, you just solve, solve, solve? Okay. Well, in this one, the common ratio is negative 1/2. So when you set up your little equation, you're going to have negative 1 equals 512, negative 1/2, oops, negative 1/2 to the n minus 1. And everything looks fine so far, but one little problem you might notice is if you're going to solve this equation using logarithms, you have a negative base. Okay? It can still be done, but basically what you have to tell yourself and be, okay with is this sequence is almost the same as this sequence. Right? They have the same number of terms, right? So, even though I can't put this in a logarithm because it's a negative base, I can pretend that I'm working on this one here. Okay, as long as there's a solution for this, there's also a solution for the one that's all positives. So don't let the negative sign throw you. It's okay to chuck that negative sign if you choose to work with logarithms. Okay, but let's just finish this one off. So this will be negative 1 over 512 equals negative 1/2 to the n minus 1. If you're a computer nerd like me, you know that's 2 to the negative 9. And there's also a negative in there. Equals 2, so negative 2 to the negative 1. So that's one way we could solve it if you didn't want to use logs. That means the negative signs, negative and a negative, are gone. And, oops, my apologies, I pulled that negative out of there. That negative was actually in the brackets. So that would be negative 2 to the, So it looks like we are stuck. Are we stuck or did I just, no, it looks like we are stuck now. So the same problem it looks like will happen, that negative and that negative. Again, you have to remember that sequence without the negatives will still work. It has the same number of terms. So let's just do that. Okay, we'll keep solving this one. So that would be 2 to the negative 9 equals 2 to the 1 minus n. Is that right? So that means n equals 10. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is a common enough task that people do. So there is a slight formula to this if you want to work with logs. I'm going to show you how it comes about in the last example. So let's see here. In the last example, if I was to solve it with logs, then this is the equation that I need to use logs for. So I would go the log base 1/2 of 1 over 512 equals n minus 1. So that means it's the log of 1 over 512 divided by the log of 1/2 using the change of base rule. And that gets me the value for n. So if you look at this, here's the first term. Here's the first term there. Here's the last term. Here's the last term there. Common ratio we said was the half. There's the common ratio there. So the formula only has 3 parts. This here, which is the last term, divided by the first term, and the log of the common ratio. Okay, so this formula, you don't need to know this one, but it can come in handy when you're working with the calculator. But it comes with the warning that it will not be provided. Should you choose to use it, you need to know it yourself. So just to contrast our equations, I'll show you in this next one here doing it with the formula. Okay. So it's going to be the log of the last term 4802 divided by the first term, divided by the log of the common ratio, which is 7 plus 1. So in one sweep, I can put that in my calculator, and I end up with log 4802 divided by 2 divided by log 7, and I get n equals 5. Okay. So again, the disclaimer is, if you like that formula, you need to know it. It will not be provided. And I would caution you that if you run into a question like this and it was non-calculator, then that formula is not going to help. But this question here, if you look at the numbers, those are nasty numbers to work with without a calculator, right? Fractions, nobody likes fractions. This would be a safe bet if it was on the exam. This would be a calculator question. Okay, so try the next one any way you like. One of the ones we've done, try the formula. Any way you like, see if you can work out what term number negative 16 over 3. Okay, so I guess I'll do this one the old-fashioned way, the way that we did it previously. So this would be an equation that says negative 16 over 3 equals 1 over 3/8/4. The common ratio is negative 2, doubling it every time. And I'll try to solve this. So 16 over 3 times 3/84, so 20. And I mean, I guess you could use a log here, but I know that one. That one's 2 to the 11 will be 2 to the n minus 1. So you should get 12 regardless of which method you used. Okay? Okay. So beyond finding a term and finding out what number a term is, the last thing, I guess I'll call them clue questions. So I'm going to give you some clues. You have to be able to work out the rest of the information. So for example, the clues are term 2 is 3, term 7 is 729. Use that information to figure out term 10.